Hey, burn along. Welcome to Mobility Monday. Today we're going to be doing some foam rolling for the legs. So you will need a foam roller. I just have this tiny little one that I bought years and years ago from Five Below. But if you have a nice long one, that will work probably better. But these small ones are fine as well. So I'm not going to really time our movements today. I want you to listen to your body. Spend the time on it that you need. So we're just going to work our way down the legs. First, I'm going to show you just a quick little back movement that I like to do for extension, since throughout our day, a lot of us were in this hunched over position. So something that I do every day with a foam roller is some extension, okay? So getting us out of that hunched over position. So I usually just grab my hair so I don't roll on it, put my arms behind my head, and just kind of roll it in my thoracic spine. So I can feel I already got like a couple of crunches, cracks there today. So kind of just back and forth until I feel like there's no more crunching going on, okay? So I just like that. Something that to do every day for my spinal mobility. Feels really, really good. If it's painful, then you're gonna wanna maybe not put as much pressure on or hold off on that, but okay, so speaking of butt, we're going to be starting on our butts. So go ahead and just kind of sit on your foam roller. So I want you to make sure you have your hands planted firmly so that you don't fall off of the foam roller. You do have to have a good amount of upper body strength to do this safely. So I'm just going to have you kind of roll back and forth, front to back here, just evenly between both of your buttocks. And you could feel like you could shift your weight a little bit more forward. It'll be more intense if you're just straight sitting on it. And you'll feel like if you have tight muscles back there, you'll feel when the foam roller rolls over them. And then as we do this more repetition, it should start to smooth out a little bit. So you'll feel your muscles kind of become more pliable. And that is how we want our muscles to be. When you feel those tight muscles that are rolling over, you kind of feel when you roll off of them, that is abnormally tight, okay? So now I feel like I'm pretty good there. If you want to spend more time there, I encourage you to do so. But like I said, listen to your body with this. I'm going to go ahead and try to kind of get on to my left buttock area a little bit more, targeting that piriformis. Now I just felt a big drop off as I'm rolling over that muscle, which means it's tight, okay? So I'm going to spend a little bit of time focusing on the left. So by shifting your weight like this, you're putting more pressure on the left side. So, and if any of this hurts, like this is actually starting to hurt on my left side a little bit now, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to switch it over to the right. So anchoring with the left leg, right leg is straight, and now I'm going to take it over on the right. Now this actually feels really good on this side, so I can tell I really needed this. So just kind of shifting front and back, rolling that out. Like I said, I got this foam roller from Five Below, so that's why it's so small, because it's cheap. If you want to spend the money, they're $30, $40 for some of the bigger ones. You can get ones that have the little nubs on them, but I just prefer a high density foam roller, nothing fancy. Five Below does the trick. Okay, so I feel like I'm good there. I'm going to now move down to my hamstrings. So you kind of have to do a little balancing act with this one every so often. So I need to get up further on the mat. Limited space here. So I'm working from my buttock to my knees. Okay, so the whole length of that hamstring, you want to roll out. My hamstrings don't feel too bad today. Closer towards the knee is where I feel a little bit of tightness and kind of hardness, stiffness in the muscles there. So do a little targeted foam rolling there, but like I said, wherever you feel tight, you're going to spend the most time on. Same thing with hamstrings. If one is tighter than the other, you're going to use your one leg to anchor in. And since this is my right leg, I'm rolling my left hamstring. I want to put more weight on that. So you're going to shift over to do one leg at a time. And that feels good for me, so I'm going to switch over to the right emphasis here. Left leg is planted to anchor. And roll that back and forth. Very good. So we just have in this position, we're sensitive. So for me, this feels good for both. I don't really need to put more pressure on one leg than the other because this must be tight. So feels like I need this. So I'm using my upper body to push up, to put all the weight through the calves. And this is kind of going to be a little core exercise too. I do feel it working in my core. If you are not able to do this, again, you're just going to do one at a time. And so planting one leg to be in like this bridge position and just do it one leg at a time. So also feels very good on that calf, okay? So now we're going to switch over. This was my right leg. Now I want to work my left calf. Right leg's going to plant, be that anchor. So I have 3 points of contact. Both hands, one leg, lifting up, holding the pressure. Ooh, that feels good. Through the calf. And so you can do it straight on like this. If you want to target the outside edge of your calf or into the peroneals, muscles on the side of the outside of the calf area, you can roll it. And then to target the inside of the gastra, you internally rotate your hip and roll a little bit, okay? All right, so that's good for our posterior chain. We're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do a little bit into the hip flexors and quads. So we're just gonna lay down on it, right at a hip flexor level, and roll it back and forth. So again, I'm starting on 2 legs. This feels really good on the quads. And for me, I feel a little bit more mid-quad, so that's where I'm gonna spend a little bit more time. And you do it where you feel your body needs it. So if you don't want to do this balancing act, you can place one leg down. So my right leg's going to stay down as an anchor, and my left leg's on the foam roller right now, which really makes it 50% more intense, right? Because the left leg's now taking all of your weight, which is actually a little too intense for me. So I'm going to put a lot of weight through my elbows here as I roll it out, okay? And show you on that right side, left knee is down as an anchor, and just kind of going back and forth, rolling front to back. All right. So the only thing we really haven't hit in the legs yet are the IT bands. So this one can be really intense, so I want you to just be prepared. As we come up, you're gonna lay like side lie, put it right underneath your hip. Let's put top leg in front as an anchor, and you can de-weight yourself if it's too intense with the 3 points of contact. Both hands, and for instance, in this case, my right leg. And you can even keep your left foot down a little bit to de-weight, but this is pretty intense for me. So I'm putting a lot of weight through my hands as I roll up. As it loosens, you might be able to do a little less weight through your hands. So that's the goal. So as we're kind of loosening things up, so you want to make sure you get the whole length of that IT band, iliotibial band that runs from the edge of your hip down alongside of your leg, connects into your knee. So a lot of time if you're having any lateral knee pain, it can be because your IT band is tight, especially for those runners out there. So make sure you hit the whole length of it. If you need to do it in sections, like I did my upper section up towards my hip first, and then I went down and now I'm working the lower section. So, all right, I'm gonna switch over to the right. So, left foot anchors, comes underneath the right hip, and roll it back and forth. This one, like I said, can be pretty intense. I saved it for last. So make sure we had everything else loosened up first. Okay, my upper IT is good, so I'm going lower. Oh, yes, the lower is where it's at. So you're gonna spend as much time here until it kind of feels like not so painful and you've loosened it up a bit, it's nice and pliable. Rolling back and forth. Okay, so that's it for today. We foam rolled all of our leg muscles. I feel really good now. I feel like I'm ready to go ahead and do a couple of workouts. So make sure you join me. I have lots of 10-minute classes on demand. Tone Tuesday, Rec Your Core Wednesday, and HIIT Thursday.